lawyer on certain terms dictated by yourself?
Well, at the time I was poor and you were rich.
Quite so. That is why you pretended to love me.
Oh, you were silly. Lord Mortlake was never anything more to me than amusement. I loved you, Arthur.
My dear Mrs. Cheveley, you were far too clever to know anything about love.
But I did love you. And you loved me. I suppose when a man has once loved a woman, he'll do anything for her except continue to love her.
Yes. Except that. Well?
I'm tired of living abroad. I want to come back to London. I want to have a charming house. I want to have a salon. Well, if one could only teach the English how to talk and the Irish how to listen, society here would be quite civilized. Besides, I've arrived at the romantic stage. When I saw you last night at the Chilterns, I realized that you were the only person that I've ever cared for. If I've ever cared for anyone, Arthur. And so, on the morning of the day that you marry me, I will give you Robert Chiltern's letter. That is my offer. I'll give it to you now, if you promise to marry me.
Now?
Tomorrow.
Are you quite serious?
Oh, yes. Quite serious.
I would make you a very bad husband.
But I don't mind bad husbands. I've had two. They amuse me immensely.
No, what you mean is that you amuse yourself immensely,
Now, what do you know about my married life?
Nothing. But I can read it like a book.
What book?
The book of numbers.
Do you think it quite charming to be so rude to a woman in your own house?
In the case of really fascinating women, sex is a challenge, not a defense.
Well, I suppose that's meant as a compliment. My dear Arthur, women are never disarmed by compliments. Men always are. That's the difference between the two sexes.
Women are never disarmed by anything, as far as I know them.
And so you will allow your dearest friend, Robert Chiltern, to be ruined rather than marry someone who still has considerable attractions left. Is that how you men stand up for each other?
It is infinitely preferable to the war you women wage against each other.
I only wage war against one woman, Gertrude Chiltern. I hate her. I hate her now more than ever.
Because you have brought a real tragedy into her life, I suppose.
Oh, there is only one real tragedy in a woman's life. The fact that her past is always her lover and her future invariably her husband.
But Lady Chiltern knows nothing of the kind of life to which you are alluding.
Well, Arthur, I take it that this romantic interview is at an end. You admit it was romantic, don't you? For the privilege of being your wife, I was ready to surrender a great prize. The climax of my diplomatic career. You decline. Very well. If Robert Chiltern will not uphold my Argentine scheme, then I expose him. Voila tout.
You must not do that. That would be vile, horrible, infamous.
Oh, don't use big words. They mean so little. Oh, it's a commercial transaction. If he won't pay me my price, he must pay the world a greater price. There's no more to be said. I must go. Goodbye. Oh, won't you shake hands?
With you? No. You went this afternoon to the house of one of the most noble gentlewomen in the world to degrade her husband in her eyes, to try and kill her love for him. That I cannot forgive.
Arthur, you're unjust to me. I didn't go to taunt Gertrude. I called with Lady Markby to see if an ornament, a jewel that I'd lost last night, had been found at the Chilterns.
A diamond snake brooch with rubies?
Yes. Well, how did you know?
Because it is found. I found it myself, and I fooled foolishly forgot to tell the butler anything about it as I was leaving. This is the brooch?
Yes, I'm so glad to have it back. It was a present.
Won't you wear it?
Why, certainly. If you will pin it on. Oh, why do you put it on as a bracelet? I never knew it could be worn as a bracelet.
Didn't you?
No, but it looks very well on me as a bracelet, doesn't
Yes,
it?
it does. Much better than when I saw it last.
And when did you see it last?
Oh, about 10 years ago. On my cousin, Lady Berkshire, from whom you stole it.
What do you mean?
I mean that you stole that ornament from my cousin Mary, to whom I gave it when she was married. I recognized it last night, and I was determined to say nothing until I had found the thief.
It's not true.
Of course it's true. My thief is written all over your face at this moment.
Well, I shall deny the whole affair from beginning to end. I shall say I've never seen this wretched thing, that was never in my possession.
The drawback of stealing something, Mrs. Cheveley, is that one never knows how wonderful the thing that one steals is. You cannot get the bracelet off because you do not know where the spring is.
Oh.
It is rather difficult to find. I gave the jeweler the most particular instructions.
Oh, you boot. You coward.
Oh, don't use big words. They mean so little.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to ring for my servant. He's a marvellous servant. Always comes the moment one rings for him. And I'm going to ask him to fetch the police.
The police? What for?
Tomorrow, the Berkshires will prosecute you. That is what the police are for.
Don't do it. I'll do anything you want. I'll do anything in the world you want.
Give me Robert Chiltern's letter.
Now, I have time to think.
Give me Robert Chiltern's letter.
I don't have it with me. I'll give it to you tomorrow.
You're lying. Give it to me at once. This is it. For so well-dressed a woman, Mrs. Cheveley, you do have moments of the most admirable common sense.
And now will you get my cloak?
With pleasure.
Thank you. I promise that I will never try to harm Robert Chiltern again.
Fortunately, you don't have the chance, Mrs. Cheveley.
Well, even if I had the chance, I wouldn't do it. On the contrary, I'm going to render him a great service.
Oh, I am charmed to hear it. Why, this is a reformation.
Yes. I can't bear to see so upright a gentleman, so honourable an English gentleman, so shamefully deceived.
And so?
I find that Gertrude Chiltern's dying speech and confession somehow strayed into my pocket.
What do you mean?
I'm going to send Robert Chiltern the love letter that his wife wrote to you tonight.
Love letter?
I want you. I trust you. I am coming to you, Gertrude.
Give me that letter at once. You're not leaving this home till I've got it.
Lord Goring merely rang that you should show me out. Good night, Lord Goring.
Well, sir, What are you doing here? Wasting your time as usual?
My dear father, when one pays a visit, it is for the purpose of wasting other people's time, not one's own.
Have you been thinking over what I spoke to you about last night?
My dear father, I've been thinking of nothing else.
Well, are you engaged to be married yet?
Not yet. But I hope to be before lunchtime.
You can have until dinner time if it would be of more convenience to you.
Well, thank you so much, but I'd rather get engaged before lunch.
No, I never know when you're being serious or not.
Neither do I, Father.
Well, have you read the Times today? The leading article on Sir Robert Chiltern's career.
Good heavens, no. What does it say?
What should it say? Everything complimentary. Chiltern's speech on the Argentina canal scheme last night was one of the finest pieces of oratory that's ever been delivered in the House since Canning.
I've never heard of Canning, and I never wanted to.
Ah.
But did Robert uphold the scheme?
Uphold it? How little you know him. No, sir, he denounced it roundly, and the whole system of modern political finance. Now, wait a minute. Here we are. Sir Robert Chiltern, the most rising of our young statesmen, a brilliant orator, unblemished career. His well-known integrity of character represents all that is best in English public life. Yes, they'll never say that of you, sir.
I certainly hope not, Father, but I am glad about Robert. It shows he's got pluck.
He has more than pluck, he has genius.
I prefer pluck. It's not so common nowadays as genius is.
I wish you'd go into Parliament.
Oh, my dear Father. Only people who look dull ever get into the House. And only people who are dull ever succeed there.
Why don't you try to do something useful in life? Why don't you propose to this pretty Miss Chiltern? Don't suppose there's the slightest chance of her accepting you. You don't deserve her.
Oh, my dear Father, if we men married the women we deserved, we would have a very bad time of it.
Oh, Miss Chiltern.
How do you do, Lord Caversham? I hope Lady Caversham is quite well.
Lady Caversham is as usual, as you should.
Good morning, Miss Mabel.
Lady Caversham's bonnets, are they at all better?
They've had a serious relapse, I'm sorry to say.
Good morning, Miss Mabel.
I do hope an operation will not be necessary.
Miss Mabel, good morning.
Oh, are you here? Of course you understand after breaking your appointment I'm never going to speak to you again. Do you think you could possibly make your son behave a little better occasionally, just as a change?
I'm sorry to say, Miss Chiltern, that I have no influence over my son whatever. I wish I had. If I had, I know what I'd make him do. No, I really must bid you good morning. I only dropped in to congratulate Sir Robert on his feat.
But you're not going to leave me all alone with Lord Goring, especially at such an early hour in the day.
Well, I'm afraid I can't take him with me to Downing Street. You see, it's not the Prime Minister's day for seeing the unemployed.
People who don't keep their appointments in the park are horrid.
Detestable.
I'm glad you admit it. I wish you wouldn't look so pleased about it.
I can't help it. I always feel pleased when I'm with you.
Well, then I suppose it's my duty to remain with you.
Of course it is.
My duty's a thing I never do on principle. It always depresses me. So, I'm afraid I must leave you.
Oh, Miss Mabel. Please don't. I have something rather particular to say to you.
Is it a proposal?
Yes. Well, I'm bound to confess that it is.
Oh, I am so glad. That makes my second today.
Your second today? What conceited ass has been impertinent enough to propose to you before I have proposed to you?
Tommy Trafford, of course. It's one of Tommy's days for proposing. He always proposes on Tuesdays and Thursdays during the season.
You didn't accept him, I hope.
I make it a rule never to accept Tommy. That is why he goes on proposing.
Bother Tommy Trafford. Tommy is a stupid little ass. I love you.
I know. And I wish you might have mentioned it sooner. I'm sure I've given you heaps of opportunities.
Oh, Miss Mabel, please be serious. Be serious.
Oh, now, that's the sort of thing a man always says to a girl before he's been married to her. He never says it after.
Mabel, I have just told you that I love you. Can't you love me just a little in return?
Oh, you silly Arthur. If you knew anything about anything which you don't, you'd know that I adore you. Everybody in London knows it except you. It's a public scandal the way I adore you. I've been going around for the last 6 months telling the whole of society that I adore you. I want you consent to have anything to do with me. I've no character left at all.
Oh, my dear. And I was so awfully afraid of being refused.
But you've never been refused yet by anybody, have you, Arthur? Oh, I can't imagine anyone refusing you.
My dear, You know, I'm not nearly good enough for you.
Oh, I am so